Hello and thanks for watching The Ancients Speak. Let's learn Chinese from the wisdom of the ancients. In our previous episode, we've learned 2 of the 5 constant virtues in Chinese culture. One is the word for benevolence, 仁. The other is the word for righteousness, 义. In today's episode, let's continue to talk about righteousness, 义. And first, let's review the word. The traditional form of this character, 义, is written this way. Let's take a closer look at its traditional form. The upper part of 义 is yang, which means sheep or goat. The lower part is 我, which means I or myself. But in ancient times, the original meaning of 我 was that of a weapon. So the whole character 义 reminds us of a lamb being burned as an offering to God as men did before they went to the battlefield for war. The basic meaning of this word, 义, is righteousness and justice. Again, the simplified form of this character is written this way. Ancient Chinese teacher Mencius says, 士穷不失义，达不离道。士穷不失义，达不离道。士 scholars or gentlemen. 穷 in modern Chinese language means poverty. In Old Chinese means adversity. 不 not. 失 means to drop or to compromise. 义 righteousness. 达 in times of success. 离 to diverge. 道the great way or the principles. Putting these all together, teacher Mencius is saying that a real gentleman will not compromise righteousness in times of adversity, nor will he diverge from righteous principles in times of success. 士穷不失义，达不离道。One of the most famous examples of this kind of attitude can be found in the Holy Bible in the life of Joseph, which is recorded in the book of Genesis. Through a dream, God had revealed to Joseph that one day he would rule over his brothers. In disclosing the contents of his dream to his brothers, Joseph may have seemed to be proud and immature, but his brothers, in response, were furious and very jealous of him. Therefore, they plotted his death. When Joseph came to visit them one day, they threw him into a pit. While they decided what to do with him, a group of Midianite traders came by. Joseph's brothers pulled him up out of the pit and sold him, and Joseph eventually became a slave in the land of Egypt. Many years passed, and Joseph was forced to face many heartbreaking trials. He was abandoned, rejected, forgotten, and persecuted, but Joseph determined to choose the right way, even if it meant suffering for it. In one situation, Joseph was falsely accused and sent to prison. Yet after being released from prison, he was raised to second in power to Pharaoh all over Egypt. He could have easily taken revenge on his brothers during the famine when his brothers came to Egypt for grain. But instead, Joseph chose to forgive them and to provide for their needs. Later, he would help bring his brothers and family to Egypt, where they could continue to be under his watchful care. Just like teacher Mencius taught, Joseph didn't discontinue his righteous principles in times of adversity, nor did he diverge from these principles in times of success. Let's review the Chinese saying of Mencius we learned today. 士穷不失义，达不离道。士穷不失义，达不离道。士 scholars or gentlemen. 穷 in modern Chinese language means poverty. In Old Chinese means adversity. 不 not. 失 means to drop or to compromise. 义 righteousness. 达 in times of success. 离 to diverge. 道 the great way or the principles. Putting these all together, Teacher Mencius is saying that a real gentleman will not compromise righteousness in times of adversity, nor will he diverge from these principles in times of success. Again, 士穷不失义，达不离道。E. And thanks for watching the ancients speak and learning Chinese together through their wise old sayings.